All right, hello everybody, welcome to Good Vibes. This live show started during lockdown and the goal is to discover entrepreneurs you don't know yet. Entrepreneurs that I find inspiring, entrepreneurs that are full of good vibes because we need optimism. Especially right now, we need reasons to believe in a post-COVID world that would be exciting and that will be built by entrepreneurs, actually. So I'm the CEO of The Family. My name is Alice. And I'm very happy today to be interviewing Juliette. At The Family, you already know, but I will give you the little short pitch. We believe that anyone can become a great entrepreneur, and that's why we provide education, tools, and access to capital to hundreds of entrepreneurs. It's been 8 years. And you may have heard of some of them, like Algolia, Each, Agricool, Payfit, you name it. And today is special. Today is special because you can see we are experimenting a whole new setup for this Good Vibe show. First, because thanks to our friends at Studio Majorel, we have this beautiful decor. And I hope that it will work well and that we will keep on doing this here with Studio Majorel. And today is special because I am with Juliette. So welcome, Juliette. Thank you for being here with us today. With you, Juliette, we're going to talk about your startup, Ubble.ai. So you co-founded this startup 2 years ago. You are only 33. That's your first startup. And thanks to Ubble, you are allowing a lot of banks, startups, mobility startups to check ID. All right, so we're going to talk about this because this is very techy, it's very competitive, and you are bringing a solution that has been proven right within only 2 years. How are you, Juliette?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here. So thanks, Alice, for inviting me today. Glad to be here.
Welcome. Everybody, if you are watching this live, of course, you can ask questions directly. You can talk in the chat. Lorenzo is here to manifest the question on the wall behind. So if you are watching it from YouTube, just join us on Opin and you will be able to ask your question directly because we want it to be super interactive, okay? So it's live and it's here to, Good Vibes are made to create a bond and a connection with entrepreneurs and the community of entrepreneurs following The Family. So tell me about the pitch of Ubble.ai. If I were an investor, how would you pitch me Ubble, Juliette?
Okay, so Ubble, it's about making sure who you are contracting with in an online environment. So when you are hiring someone online, when you are entering into a car, like for instance to do some car sharing or to go on a VTC ride, we will intervene to make sure that the people who say they are, for instance, Alice Zaguri, are really Alice.
For instance, Each is using you, Side is using you, Vibe is using you. A lot of startups from The Family, actually.
Yeah, they are making good choice. They work with you, they work with me, it's cool. So we work with a lot of startups to accelerate their onboarding and of the users and making sure that this onboarding is secured in terms of identity. So to do that, we ask users to make short videos of their physical ID. So they have their physical identity document, like plastified, and we guide them into making a short video of this and then a short video of their face. We verify this identity with a combination of AI and a human eye also. And we provide answers very fast that are equivalent to a face-to-face meeting. That is something that is very new and that not so many companies can provide. So that's why we are so interested thing to companies that needs some kind of security, either because they have some compliance rule that they need to comply with, or because they have security risks in their business model.
Okay, because in my mind, these startups, they have no other choice than using a service like yours.
Mm-hmm.
They have to verify, they have to ensure that the people are real, and that there is no fraud.
Yes.
Yeah, and what you're telling me is that some startups are not actually constrained to do it, but in order to make sure that the identity are real, they will use Ubble.
Yes, there are some use cases where you don't need to know the identity of people, and on my side, I'm not willing like the internet to be like a place where you can't be anonymous anymore. This is not something I believe in, and this is not something I want as a person. It's just that on some transactions that represent some kind of risks, we can help to make sure that the identity of the people contracting are okay, and that there is security behind, and that there is not identity fraud. If I want to buy some shoes in Amazon, I don't necessarily need to show my ID. If I'm going to babysit children, maybe it's good you know who I am.
It's a level of security this
Yes.
platform needs. So let's say I am a user of site.co, all right?
Okay.
I want to try working for short mission, and I'm subscribing to site, and they are asking me, because they are using Ubble, to show my passport. I'm showing my passport. Then they ask me to move a little bit, and that's a video recorded.
Yes.
You have someone making sure, you have a real human making sure that this person is for real, or it's all automated and all is checked by an artificial intelligence?
So it's an important question. When we started Ubble, we wanted to make everything automatic. So this was the claim, like 2 years and a half ago. 6 months is a lot when you talk about 2 years. So 2 years and a half ago, we wanted to automate everything. It appears that there are things an AI cannot detect very well. Like, for instance, it's difficult for an AI to make the difference between a video of a real ID and a video shown on a mobile phone, and I filmed the video. It's a bit like, but it's difficult for the AI, or making the difference with photocopy, for instance, of ID just printed. So when we realized that, we thought that AI can do a lot: extract text, see a document, guide the user live. So we can automate the interaction with the user, but there are some checks that needs a human eye. And we've kept it, but very precisely at the right places.
So you have real people sometimes that are
Yes.
checking.
100% of identity verification, you have a human eye with Ubble. All of them, because we believe that AI cannot detect everything today. So we've kept it because we want to provide this face-to-face equivalence. This is our promise. We didn't want to start with a promise that we were not able to deliver. So we are delivering this promise, and then we accelerate and we automate more and more, but we believe that the human eye is going to stay a little bit. Human has value. It's not all AI. We still need human in the loop.
In 20 hours during 7 days, you have these people who are able to provide an answer.
Yeah, it's 24/7 every day, and I thank them if they're listening, because they're doing an amazing job.
And they're based in France.
Yes.
And they're part of the team.
Yes, and they are experts. They're not like we we really need them. Like we respect their expertise, because they are detecting fraud that you look at it, you don't see it. I mean, I trust you sometimes. And
tell me the worst fraud you've seen, or funny fraud you've seen. Like, I don't know. You must see so many things, actually.
Yeah, they are seeing a lot of things. Me, at the beginning of Ubble, I verified identity manually. It's a hard job. But so what I've seen personally, very funny, is kids. Kids, they are very creative. So for instance, I remember kids that clearly took the ID of his parents on their purse at night, and show the ID, and then was making a movie of his parents while they were sleeping. So this you can see there is an issue with consent, and then we said, okay, we need to ask consent of people. So this is fun. There are so many. We've seen so many drivers sometimes also doing it while driving, and smoking. So they drive, they smoke, and they verify their identity. And you're like, okay, guys, how can you do that? You're not human.
Funny kids, but as well. So let's go back to the beginning of the story, Juliette. What led you to this new world of ID verification? Like, what were you doing before? What have you been studying, and how did this all came up?
Okay, so I studied at ESSEC,
business school.
ESSEC Business School, and I started loving innovation and new technology with a program that is called Création d'un produit innovant. CPI, which is a partnership with Stanford and ESSEC and another school. And so I had it in me. So I wanted to work in a technological environment. Then I went to strategic consulting, like every people at ESSEC, and I got fired quite soon.
Why?
Why? Because I guess I was a bit different. There are cultures that are specific, and I had quite a free speech, and it's not so easy to manage an intern that is that has sometimes a big mouth. So I understand. It's okay. And I applied to work at Gemalto. Gemalto, they are basically doing, I think, 30% of smart cards. So SIM cards, banking cards, and also identity documents that have a chip inside. So they're manufacturing them, they're printing them. And I started as in strategy for the identity business unit. I was very young, like 23, something like this. And I thought, okay, this is fun, but verifying identity is the fun part of it. Manufacturing, it's like, but so I worked on border control, like paraf projects, like how do you cross automatically borders for governments, and also building large border control system at the level of countries. So Gemalto is providing that to border control authorities.
So you became an expert very fast.
Yes, very fast, and because I went into a niche topic, into a very and highly competent industrial, and so I had the opportunity to become, I guess, an international expert on identity topics, because very fast, and then I decided to focus, and it was my decision to focus on identity online, and how do you provide those technologies to the private sector, so banks. Gemalto was also working for banks, smart cards, you remember, and also telecoms operator. And we won great deals very fast with the product we built, and I end up leading a new business unit for Gemalto. So I was owner of the P&L, business owner, and really in an entrepreneur way. and I leaded this business unit from 0 to 30 people at Gemalto and at the worldwide level.
Wow. And that's how you met a lot of people who would become afterwards maybe future partners. And this Francois who came into your role.
Francois was in the consulting firm.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew them. I knew him from those few months.
Mm-hmm. And so what Francois was, I mean, he came to you and he said, okay, there is something we could do. How was it?
So Francois, he already had built a company. So I don't want to talk for him because he's also very interesting. So maybe you want to invite him to have the other way. But so he already had built a company. And he was looking for a new project. He was working in the advertisement business, ad tech, and wanting something more meaningful. So he wanted to work in the security industry. He was looking at the medical industry, and he said, "Okay, I have competencies to build a fast-growing company, and I'm looking for an expert that have a vision." Basically, that was the idea. And he came with technology. He said, I think computer vision is something that is underused in France. There is a lot of potential into that, and we need to invent new use cases. And I had vaguely heard about computer vision. He explained me what it is, and I said, wow, this is great. We can do Ubble, and I mean we had the idea like in one lunch.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, and this lunch was 2.5 years ago.
It was in December 2017, 2018, 2017.
2017,
yeah.
And it took several months to have a team.
So 15 days after this lunch, so Francois was digging, and said, "Wow, there is really something we can do." We met CTOs to get challenged. So is it feasible to build Ubble? Because I mean, guiding user live with an artificial intelligence into making videos, this is not so easy to build.
But at that time, you already have competitors, right? Existing
huge, like with a lot of money, well financed, and but no one was doing what we wanted. And
what was the main difference with the competitors?
So the idea was to basically, Apple ID. Okay, Apple ID. First, you did just a snapshot, just a photo of your face, and Apple realized that if you take a picture of a Facebook profile picture, then wow, hello Alice. So a lot of people have your picture. I mean, it's easily available. So Apple said we need videos with your face. You need to move your face. This is a lot of investment. It's not easy, and this is now standard. You can't take just a picture of your face. You need to make a video with a movement. This has not happened yet on the identity document because you don't have an Apple yet. Maybe Apple will be. But so our main differentiator was, okay, we can verify identity documents. There are thousands different. We make videos of them. We extract information from them. We verify lights. We verify holograms. And we guide the user into not moving his head, but moving his ID. And this is not easy to tilt in terms of UX. So this was the difficult part. And then you have to build operations. So I don't know if it was your question, but
it's a perfect answer.
The difference was here. And also most of our competitors guide their users only in native application. We wanted to be able to do it in the web. So we are compatible with native apps, but we wanted also to be web compatible. And we wanted also to cover directly all types of ID. So all of that was hard, but feasible. We knew how to do it.
We have a question from Sarah Davila. She's saying, what does the human eye do that the AI does not?
So we had the discussion, Alice, because Alice nicely coached me because
we just spend cool time together.
Yes, we spend a cool time. So interesting question. I will provide an example. An AI, they reproduce something that you've shown to us, to it already. So, for instance, if you want to train an AI to recognize cats, then you might show it like thousands of cats. It happens that you've only shown gray cats, so only gray cats pictures. You will show red cat pictures. The AI, no, there is no cats, because they will think that all cats are gray. If you do that with a kid, you show him a gray cat, you show him only one gray cat, you show him a red cat, he will say cat. Okay? The AI, they reproduce something they have learned. It's the principle of learning, and it's why you need a lot of data, lot of data. With an expert in identity verification, they will sense that something is weird, and they will detect fraud that has never existed, and that an AI at one point would have not detected, because basically this is the first time you see it. A human can see it.
Another question from Guillaume. Who are your clients? So we've been talking a little bit, but maybe you can remind. Do you only work with big companies and institutions? Can you also work with SMEs or clients who have lower volume?
So we work with big company. We work, for instance, with Carrefour Bank. We work with Crédit Agricole. We work with BPI France. We work with quite a lot of Treasure also. And
like
we
big
also
institutions.
Big institutions.
And we'll be talking, Juliette, about the sales process of convincing these people.
But just to finish on the question, we also work with small companies, and we want to, because small companies, they are agile, they go fastly in production, and they are the ones that are going to scale. So, like the family, we want to be with, we want to work with
the promising entrepreneurs.
Yes, and our business is basically scale-ups, because we help companies to onboard user intuitively, fastly, and securely. So having small companies is great for us, because maybe they will become big. It's the case of Side. It's the case of so they provide a lot of volumes.
Yeah, of course. So you started as a CPO, Chief Product Officer, but you've been doing all sorts of jobs.
Yes.
And now you're leading the sales, right?
Yes.
Teach me, how do you convince Carrefour? How long does it take? How hard it is? And you've been learning this from scratch, so
yes,
teach me.
So I think all sales are quite different, and being able to sell is quite different from being able to lead a sales organization. On my side, about selling, I think I sell like most of founders. I sell with passion. I truly believe that my team is great, that my product is the best. I know exactly my differentiation point, and I can convince and move organization like just drive the thing. And if you take Carrefour Bank, I won it it was very fast, like in a week. The deal was won, and I mentioned Crédit Agricole, so we are starting to work with them, and it was the same.
Wow.
My associates sometimes they say that those are old apps. I don't think this is old apps, but it's just at one point if you need to make people switch, and this can happen very fast. And on my side, I don't necessarily need long processes. Sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it takes quite a long time. But it can also be very fast.
You've made some very important and strategic choices, like being all in France, having your servers and data in France.
Yes.
And I guess that's really important when it comes to your sector. What are the assumptions behind? Like, are you defending a kind of European sovereignty? Is it the way that you're following with Ubble?
Yes, Ubble, we are 100% European. So our data is in a European cloud. And I'm not like saying it's geographically in a European cloud. We are working with Outscale. It's owned by French capital. It's truly European cloud. Our operations are based in Europe, so there is not a single personal data that we process that is leaving European applications and storage. So this is quite rare, I believe, in the ecosystem, and it's definitely linked to the business we are in. It's identity. It's governments who provide identity. It's something that is related to our sovereignty and of governments, and it's also something that is related to our democracy because you vote with your identity. You go to the doctor. You go to the hospital. You have rights that are attached to your identity. And you have contracts, so it has a legal value. So it's something that is important in terms of trust in our economy, and it's something that is everywhere, basically. So we've been asked, and we have understood by our customers, by the regulators that we interact with, and by also people that advise us in this industry, that this is important to make choices that are related to Europe sovereignty.
When you started 2.5 years ago, you were driven by the thrive, by the challenge, right? You knew there was a problem and you wanted to fix the problem. And step by step, you discovered that actually this problem is bigger than you, and that actually there are values that are standing behind. And it is something that is it something you've been adapting to, and how hard it is, for instance, to talk to lobbyists and to adapt to this world, because I guess it's part of your job as well.
Yes. So our job is in the mix of a lot of things, and there are, by the way, a lot of things in what you've just said. So first of all, you don't end up staying 10 years in the identity business if you don't care. So there is the game and the fun of a fast-growing market that is truly international, with quite a lot of competitors, and there is a race ongoing that I like.
You
running.
Want to win. You want to win, Juliette. I can see that.
I like that. So I wanted to have the best product. I wanted to win the biggest contract, and I still want that. But there are things in this business that also are bigger than just this thrive that you can find in every business, basically. In the identity business, there is also this idea that people put in your hands personal data that is not yours. And also there is a responsibility that comes with in this business, and that we are very conscious, and that we want to be respectful, and we also want to be transparent about what we do.
Of course.
Then, how do you manage a relationship with government, lobbyists? Because there is something about that. So it was something fully new. I started, and when you are an entrepreneur, you need to do things that you've never done. I guess you did it, I did it, and it's also the fun part of it. So it appears that when you come with a genuine strive to do something right, to to say, okay, I want to make this market better, more secure. I want to do it in a way that is truly European and respectful of personal data. It appears that you have a lot of doors open. And people listen to you and they consult you. And if you want to make things go the right way and you are honest, and I mean, it's easier. Yeah. And you don't need like hundreds of millions of dollars in lobbying. You need that if you don't want to go the right way. Maybe Monsanto needs that. Ubble doesn't need that.
It's been kind of easy for you in a way. That's what you're saying.
Yes, because we are experts and we do things the way the government wants it to happen. More secure, respectful of personal data, and sovereign. So it helps.
What are your next challenges, Juliette, with Ubble?
So we need to lead this cell organization to beat our competitors. So that's my next challenge. So we have a
Are that already coming to France, for instance, or are you thinking of winning the market outside of France?
Yes.
Both.
Our product is international by design. Okay, we can go everywhere, basically. What is preventing us from doing it is potentially regulation. That is not everywhere the same. We have the chance to work in a European market that is quite clear, because we have a directive that is called EIDAS regarding identity. So EIDAS means identity. So it helps us so we can go outside France directly. So we are international by design in terms of product and also regulation. What lacks, what we need now is international sales, and this we need to build. So we have also challenges in terms of product, of course, but the main assets are here. I mean, our product it runs in production. We verify thousands of identity every day. We can scale it. We can take 5-10 more, and now what we need is like go on and kill the game.
Kill the game. You've been raising funds with investors. Can you talk about it? Like how much and who are the investor behind that?
Yes, sure. So we have made our last round during the COVID crisis. So it was quite good news. So we have raised overall 10 million euro. So in 2 years and a half, and we have Team Ventures, Partech, Briga. In the capital, and I hope I didn't miss anyone.
All right. How I mean, we haven't been talking about the fact that you're a woman since the beginning, and I'm happy about this.
Do you see a lot of women at Good Vibe?
No,
not enough.
Unfortunately, not enough. But I'm so happy when I meet badass founders that are women, and so you are. Can you just tell me if you, along this entrepreneurial experience, have been feeling lonely as a woman, like observing that in the room often you must have been the only female, right?
Of course, it has happened to be the only woman. It's true. I mean, there are not a lot of women founding women. I remember my first board. We didn't have the visio, and so it was a hello gentlemen. So there is a woman here. But those men, they're really nice. I mean, it's a pleasure to work with them, and I love my team. And there are many men. We also have quite a lot of women at Ubble, and this is something we want, and we as a team. So even men, they want a woman in their team. But there is a reality about being a woman, and sometimes yes, you feel you realize that there are 40 entrepreneurs in the room and that you are the only woman, and there is something that is a mix between surprise and sometimes a little bit of anger, saying, "Why am I only?" It's not okay.
It's not okay. And what made you like overcome this barrier? Because obviously there is a barrier, right? If there are such a few, I mean, at the family it's 5% of the founders, right? So it would be stupid to ask the ones who are here why all of the others are not here, right? But what made you overcome somehow some barriers, according to you? I mean, according to your own experience or life, or
it's you see those kind of questions. It's easier to talk about business than talk about those personal things, because it touches to something that is highly intimate. What is it to be a woman? What is your femininity? What is your femininity when you are leading a team? How feminine you are, and is it? How have you been able to at one point step up and stop being the nice girl that don't lead? How do you become in some way a woman leader? And this is something that is that happens inside. You need to work in your own mentality. It's I felt that as soon as I decided that I can step up, I was not blocked, and or a little bit, but it was so much harder to work on myself than just to move away blockers in the real life that you cannot block me. At one point, if I decide, you cannot block me. And I had to work on myself, and I guess some personal events allowed me to step up all along my life. I guess the main one was to say, okay, I won't be this woman in an house, married with a nice guy and having children, because basically I'm gay. So as soon as I knew I was not going to be this girl, for me it was easier because I was not this, so I can be everything else. It's the way I felt it, and I'm not sure I would have been able to build this company if I was not gay. I'm not sure. I don't have the answer, but I'm not sure.
You mean because you've had to overcome this personal barrier in your life, then all the barriers suddenly broke as well?
Yeah, it was the hardest. This was the hardest thing for me, and as soon that it jumped, then everything was easier.
I totally feel what you say, and for me, I would put it like that: being an outsider in a way, for personal reasons and tons of personal experiences. Feeling like an outsider makes it easier for women to actually jump into entrepreneurship.
It's you have to accept being yourself. And if you want to lead, and if you have ideas, then you need to be yourself. And culturally, it's not what we've been told. And I think it's major blockade.
Do you help women in your company at Ubble to step up and to be themselves as well?
I try to listen to them and ask them questions. I try to provide an example also of being myself and being okay with that. And I think this is a personal path. So those women, but this is something I want to do. I want to, if I can have an impact on that and help some women, and it's also why we started talking to each other. I want to do it. I want to help.
Wow, that's such a beautiful way to end, Juliette. But before we totally fully end, I would like to ask you the question I love to ask to all of my guests at Good Vibes. What is one song that you could listen every morning and you feel the good vibes coming up while you listen to this song?
I love Alain Souchon. I think it's.
I love him
it's
too.
Soft. It's. I like it, and I have proposed. So I'm a bit ashamed, but I said I want to be myself. So yes, Alain Souchon is cool, and the proof is Isaac Delusion made some remix of Souchon, and he's a lot of artists are remixing it. So
don't justify. Don't justify.
So we agreed that Montalo is a nice one.
Maybe we can put Montalo, and while we're putting Montalo, so you can feel the good vibes of Montalo from Alain Souchon, I invite you, all of the guests today, all of the participants, to do the chat roulette. It's chat roulette times right now, so you just have to click on the button network, and you will meet every 5 minutes people who have been following this amazing moment with Juliette. Every 5 minutes you will meet with someone. Maybe he or she will become your next co-founder, client, investor, you name it. You have to be on the platform open to do that, right? Enjoy this moment, create good connections. It was a pleasure to be with you, Juliette.
Pleasure shared.
Really. And voila. See you soon. See you on Thursday, because on Thursday I will be interviewing another great mind, James Vincent, who's been accompanying Steve Jobs.
This is name dropping.
Yeah, sorry. You see, I only have amazing guests. Okay, so this is gonna happen on Thursday. Okay, let's listen to Alain Souchon. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juliette. Les sentiments, la blancheur qu'on croyait éternelle avant.